All right, baseball's all-time hit king is officially back in the game.
Yeah, Major League Baseball has announced, after a seemingly endless debate and long consideration, that Pete Rose, along with other former players, have been taken off the league's permanently ineligible list. Rose, who died last September at the age of 83, was banned decades ago after it was revealed he bet on baseball while he was a player and manager. Now, this move means he will be eligible for enshrinement in the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York.
So for more on this, we're now joined by a friend of the show, Keith Law, senior baseball writer for The Athletic. Keith, good morning, and thanks for joining us. A lot of people talking about this. Pete Rose had long denied ever betting on baseball, but in his 2004 book, My Prison Without Bars, he admitted betting on his own team. Explain to us this decision by Commissioner Rob Manfred, and why now?
Yeah, it is a little bit surprising. So the decision is that any player who's on that permanently, obviously that word doesn't mean what I thought it meant, ineligible list, players who have since passed away may be reinstated off of that list. In other words, he's redefining the list to say that it only lasts as long as the player or manager, whoever's banned, is alive. And what this really does procedurally is allow them to be considered for the Hall of Fame. It doesn't really do a whole lot else, which leads to the question of why now? Well, one, I think this is pretty clearly an attempt to curry favor with President Trump, who's made some noises about wanting to see Pete Rose reinstated. Major League Baseball has a number of things coming up, like a big CBA negotiation where the federal government may get involved, or Trump may simply make some statements. So this may be an attempt to get into his good graces. Also, I believe tonight is Pete Rose night in Cincinnati anyway. They're playing the White Sox. Several former White Sox players were also reinstated. I'm going to guess that had something to do with the specific timing of this announcement.
I guess the whole point of banning him was to protect the integrity of the game, send a message to other players, about messing around with gambling. So, I mean, is that a mixed message to current players?
I certainly think so. I am not in favor of reinstating any of these players. It's not just specific to Rose. They broke the most significant rule in baseball. If you can commit such a thing as a crime against baseball, this is the biggest one. He bet on games, all of these players bet on games in which they were specifically involved. And while Pete Rose did sort of admit what he'd done, he never fully came clean or fully made amends for what he did, betting specifically on games when he was managing, not all games, so that it was very clear there were some games where maybe he wasn't trying as hard, or he was simply sending a signal to the bookmakers, hey, I don't think we're going to win tonight, but I think we're going to win tomorrow because I'm betting on that game instead. So I agree. I think this is a bit of a slap in the face to people who've spent their lives not just in the sport, but trying to protect its integrity as a whole.
You mentioned White Sox players also reinstated here. That included shoeless Joe Jackson, 7 of his teammates. They were accused of intentionally losing the 1919 World Series. That was famously dubbed the Black Sox scandal. Remind us about this scandal and what we should know about their reinstatement.
So that was a situation where the players felt that they were grossly underpaid by White Sox owner Charlie Comiskey. They were approached by some gamblers who offered them, by modern standards, a very modest payment to throw the World Series. And it was only specific games, too. They were supposed to lose enough games to lose the whole series, but there were only certain games where the gamblers were going to make their money by betting against the White Sox in that particular World Series. And it later came out, what they did later came out, and shoeless Joe Jackson was accused of, he was pretty clearly one of the conspirators, but even players like Buck Weaver, who didn't take the money from the gamblers, did play his best during the series, he was also placed on the ineligible list because he knew of the conspiracy and didn't do anything about it. And so these players, if you've seen the movie 8 Men Out or read the book about it, it's been sort of part of baseball lore for 100 years. If you bet on baseball, if you're involved in betting on baseball, you're out.
Wow, amazing. I mean, I remember seeing Pete Rose at Cooperstown maybe 3 years ago in the summer, and he was signing autographs for $50 a piece at the Hall of Fame. It was just like that.
And he really wanted to get in.
Yeah.
He did.
All right, nice to see you, Keith. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.